What's up, y'all? I'm Isaiah, and I'm gonna tell y'all why being trash is kind of good. So, in the beginning, you initially, well, you know what? Just come with me. Come with me. Now, when I say trash, I mean being bad. I mean being terrible. Being absolutely ass at something or whatever it is you're trying to achieve. Just to give a little more, clarity of what I'm talking about. So, obviously this opinion is completely subjective. Sorry, this is way too much. So, obviously this opinion is completely subjective. Different strokes for different folks. Everyone has their own thing. Everyone has their own aesthetic. So, obviously everyone has their own opinion of what's trash, what's ass, what's good, what's not. So, I just wanted to set those parameters so I wouldn't have people just sending me BS in the comments. Now, I'm a firm believer in learning pretty much. And most people don't come fresh out the box knowing everything they need to know, which is why I think the learning period is the most important period, which is why I think you have to be good, you have to be trash, because, like I said, most people don't come out the box knowing this stuff. Here's why. Now, to me, being trash means you just have more room to improve. So, if you're bad at something, that means you can only get better, which to me means you can actively track where you're getting better, which is why I think it's kind of important to be trash at the beginning of things. Alright. I'm not the only one that does this. But, when you're about to get some new equipment and you read up on it, learn every single thing you possibly can online, but then as soon as you get it, you realize there's kind of a learning curve because you've never actually used the camera or even any kind of thing, and for that matter, just in real life situations. This is another example of real life crash course learning. You know how you read up on it, learn everything you possibly can off of online, but as soon as you get the product, it's like you're still learning it because you have no physical clue on how to use it. So, that's a prime example of starting off terrible, but making your way to being good, because if you get a camera and you automatically know how to use it, then you're one of the lucky people. I was pretty good at learning how to use all the equipment that I've ever gotten. So, that's just a prime example of that. You know what I mean? All right. So like I was saying, it's that weird learning curve that everybody goes through, no matter what it is, whether it be cameras, whether it be computers, whether it be, hell, even the little drawing tablets. It's all kind of subjective and specific to that specific person. That being said, the best analogy I've heard about this is an empty canvas of knowledge. So when you're first starting out into something, your canvas is always going to be blank because you know nothing about it. So therefore, you have no perfect pieces of art hanging up here. That's just how it is. Until you start acquiring certain pieces of knowledge, that's when you start adding more ink, start adding more paint, and then you kind of start developing more styles. You kind of learn the do's and the don'ts of it. You kind of learn the basic rules, and that just kind of morphs you into an actual artist, which, happens over time. It takes time, which is why you kind of got to be terrible. Once again, terrible is always good. Back to this analogy of, art and canvases. On this empty canvas, you're just acquiring skills over time, which is why you're not that good yet. Now, I've been actively doing photography for only 5 years versus a lot of other photographers who've been doing it for 15 to 20, and I mean, I'm literally a child compared to these people. Anyway, like I was saying, I've been actively doing photography and learning photography for 5 years. I've gotten to the point where I kind of know the basic rules, the basic do's and don'ts. I've also known them well enough to decide when to break these rules. For example, leading lines. Leading lines, I use this all the time when it comes to architecture and buildings and landscape things. But I also heavily exclusively break this rule when it comes to portraits, because it's, in my mind, I'm telling a different story. I want something different. I want the audience to feel a certain way, which is why I will purposely break these rules, which kind of developed my own little style. So it's kind of me now, because I know these things now, and now I'm slowly but surely getting better. Now, that being said, for a while when I started out, I was comparing myself to literally every person on Instagram, all the Peter McKinnons, Brandon Wolfels, all the Mango Street, and everyone, just everyone in general. And I felt like shit just because I wasn't producing the images that I wanted to get, that they were getting. But that takes time, naturally. To make matters worse, people on social media weren't too shy about telling me how terrible I was. And I've been doing this since high school. In high school, kids are savages, but it's alright. They can all eat a bag of Dixie. The main point I want anyone who watches this to get is that it's okay to be bad. It's okay to not have the best images right now because you're just starting out. No one expects you to pick up a camera and be perfect right at the shot. So, it's okay to be bad. Everybody was once bad. As long as you're growing and learning, whenever you're bad, that just means you can only get better. And damn, does it feel good when you finally get better. That's pretty much it. So, like, share, subscribe. If it's not too much trouble for you, leave a comment. Comment below. There we go. I can speak English. Do all that good stuff. And as always, don't forget the aesthetics. Peace out, y'all.